Hi, it's Kim again. So you've used UPAR and you have been able to determine if you have students who would benefit from a human reader or text reader for listening comprehension. We're going to talk about a few different tools for those two things, but we're going to focus right now on the tool called Snap and Read. Snap and Read is a very, very cool extension that allows a student to not only read any type of media. It can read anything in your Google Drive. It can read a PDF. It can read a web article and simplify. So it really is a very good tool, and it's one of the better tools for translation. So if you have students who are ELL and could use some support, this is also a fantastic tool. We're going to just focus on the reading accommodation part today. Snap and Read Universal works on Chrome and has an app on the iPad. We're going to focus on Chromebooks just because those are what the students in my school district use. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to use Snap and Read. And to do that, just for example, we're going to go to Tween Tribune. And I like to use kind of a really thought-provoking article when I teach this to kids. And the topic is, would you eat soup made from crickets? So maybe the class wants to have a debate. Maybe they are doing an opinion paper, but this might be a topic for that. So I'm going to go in here and I am first going to turn on Snap and Read, which is my compass on top. Again, your district will need to have access to Snap and Read, and mine currently does. So this is the compass. When it's black, it means that Snap and Read is turned off and there are no tools on the side. When I select it and I turn on the extension, then the tools pop up. Here are some options right here where we can remove distractions. We can go to the PDF reader. We don't need that now because this is a web page. And other options are going to be where you can choose the voice, highlighting colors. I definitely recommend when you're teaching this to kids or to a class that they get to play around with these settings beforehand because they're going to get really distracted by it. So if they can go through and just kind of see what works for them, that's great. Over here, we have a bunch of other options. Here's where you can choose your language if you do want it to translate. There are over 100 languages in here. We have a bilingual program at my school, so I always have mine on Spanish because I tend to use that often. And I have Sophia, just so I have a woman's voice coming out also. Okay, so I am going to go back to my article, and I think that I'm going to actually try to simplify this, remove some of the distractions. Okay, so it removed pretty much everything on that page where I am just back to looking at the text here. So pretty simply, when you click on the speaker over here, you click where you want it to start reading. Okay, then I'm just going to click back on that to turn that speaker off. So again, back in those settings, you control the speed, you can control the voice. So if if it's shown that your student does respond well to a human reader, this is a good one to use. Some other options for Snap and Read, which are great, you can select a paragraph to read, and you can simplify vocabulary, which is very cool. If I'm reading this and I don't know what innovative means, I can highlight this sentence And then I can click on the Simplify Vocabulary tool. And you'll see here that it did change some of the words into italics. So that innovative changed to interesting. So I can say, oh, I know what interesting means, and kind of make that correlation with innovative then. So this is very helpful in students developing their vocabulary as well. This is the Translate tool. If you want to select and translate, remember I have mine set to Spanish, so it automatically changes to Spanish. Then I can click back on the speaker and have it read. Hopefully you can hear that. I'm not sure if you can. And then we also have the highlight tool. So if students need a little bit more visual support, there's that too. And again, those are the two colors that are selected in my settings. Okay, so that is, I'm going to go ahead and turn that off now, because then it'll stay on for everything else I'm doing. And some kids like that all the time. I use this tool when I have a large brief to read from the state. I really like it. So that is how you use Snap and Read. So here are some other examples. If UPAR has told you that your student benefits from human or text reader, human reader would be somebody in person, Learning Ally, RAS text-to-speech, Mayan, or Epic, where you have a person reading. Learning Ally has been great the last couple years with having a lot of the authors reading their own stories, which is great, especially when we're talking about equity. If we have different cultural books and we have our authors reading those, it's so nice. Just caution with human reader, that's something, if we have a person reading to a student, that's something we want to wean off when they're pretty young, because we don't want to have them dependent on another adult. We'd rather have them dependent on their technology at hand. Some other examples of text readers are Read and Write for Google. We just talked about Snap and Read. Bookshare and Chromebook has built-in text-to-speech as well. So what are your next steps? What you want to do is really learn an accommodation very, very well yourself. You want to teach the staff who will be supporting the student, especially the gen ed teacher, any assistants or support staff. You want to, I really do think this works best when you're teaching a whole class at one time, because then it's presented as accommodation for everybody, and those kids who need it don't stand out. So it's something you can use if you need it, or using if you don't want it. You can use it when you're tired. You can use it if you've maybe played in a soccer game and headed a ball too hard and you're having headaches. These are things that everybody can use, and then it helps our students with their self-confidence if they do truly need to use it. But then again, in those one-to-one sessions, make sure that your student knows how to use it well. And the exposure to that higher level text allows them more meaningful participation in education and their learning. Also in here included some samples of how to track data when you're using these programs. If you're not a person who can be in the classroom every day, this will help you see how they're using their accommodation. Here are some other resources for you. Again, Don Johnston Learning Academy is really a great tool. If I didn't explain it well, there's more information there. So thank you very much. Enjoy.